Hey guys, welcome back to the Ducati Scrambler project. Today I'm here to answer one of the most asked questions. And the question is, are those spoked wheels tubed or tubeless? We're gonna take it apart, we're gonna take a look inside and find out. But enough with the chit chat, let's get on it. I went on a ride and when I came back, the wheel was flat. I found this little sucker in it. The question is this tubeless or tubed? This is the hole where the nail came from. But if I go around, the previous owner actually plugged this wheel before. So it is hard to figure out without taking the wheel apart, because it deflated a lot like a tubeless tire. Usually if you have a tube in there, once the tube gets pierced, you lose the air very, very quickly. Instead, this time around, it deflated very slowly, so much so I didn't even realize I got a flat until the very next day. On the other hand, this is a spoked wheel, and usually unless the spokes are on the edge of the rim, they require a tube. So it's time to take it apart. First thing I'm gonna do in my case is remove the bobbins over here. If you have the Evotech spindle, bobbins, whatever you wanna call it, you need two 10 millimeters and you need to remove them because they do cover the nut. All right. Grab a 30 millimeter socket and loosen this up. At this point, let's lift the bike up. All right, when you have it up, this is no different than any other rear wheel, obviously. Just pull this away, push this in. Remember, you don't need to change anything here. The distance is gonna be the same. We're just gonna fix the tire, so don't touch those. All right, push it forward so you can get the chain off of it, and then remove the caliper to give yourself some space. The caliper pushes in, and at this point you can pull the wheel out nice and easy. All right, it is time to break the bead on the wheel, and we're gonna use a very homemade system which is composed by two pieces of wood. I'm gonna put it under there. This is gonna be a long and laborious thing, so I'm gonna get on it and I'll let you know what's going on. So the inner tube is being replaced and the tire is being rebalanced and it's ready to go back in. Now, if you have a shop nearby that can do it for you, it's usually cheap, 25, 30 bucks or whatever, and way faster. So to put it back in, it's really, really easy, just like any other tire. You move it forward. First thing to do is to put the chain back on the sprocket. And at this point, one thing you want to do is realign the caliper. So grab the caliper, make sure that the brake pads are still spread apart. This part on the caliper goes on that notch on the swing arm. So put it back in, and this will align with the hole. And as I said before, you might actually want to lube the axle one more time. I'm gonna clean up the old lube and put some fresh one on it. It's time to put everything back together. Here we go. Before I tie everything up, I'm gonna make sure that the wheel is still aligned, which should be because we haven't moved the alignment pins over here. Make sure that the caliper is aligned properly. The chain, since you're at it, is tensioned properly. Everything looks pretty good. It's time to put the nut back on it. And then again, with the 30 millimeters, it's time to actually tie it up. According to the Ducati maintenance manual, the axle nut on the rear tire is supposed to be 145 Newton meters, which is around 109, 108 foot-pound of torque. Let's grab and let's start tying it up. Right, and that's it. So in conclusion, yes, the Scrambler with spoke wheels has an inner tube in there, front and back. So the Classic and the Enduro both have inner tubes. Now, how much is it going to cost you if you get a flat on one of those two Scramblers? Well, it's going to definitely cost you more than if you had cast wheels. Because if you have tubeless tires on it, on $10, you can plug it yourself, call it good, and you're all done. With the inner tube, you have to remove the wheels, remove the inner tube, buy the inner tube, and other than costing you time, it is also going to cost more because an inner tube, especially as thick as the one that is supposed to be in there, it's around $30. If you do not have a 30 millimeter socket, which you're gonna need, it's about another $10 to $12 online, depending. And you might wanna get two of them because you have one nut on each side. So you could use a crescent wrench on one of them to hold it. Make sure you use a good one, a big one, so you don't mess up the nut down there. When it comes to money, it can be anywhere between $40 to $70 if you take the wheel to a shop, to more if you take the bike to the shop itself. Because if you take the bike rather than the wheel, they're gonna charge you more. So as always, I recommend at the very least, pull the wheel off yourself. It's not that difficult, you just seen it done, and take it in, and you're gonna get it done for $30, $35, depending where you live, maybe even cheaper. Other than that, we are done for today. The Scrambler is back to being ride-worthy. Now, the rear tire and the front tire need to be replaced because they're really down to their last few miles. And I'm probably gonna replace him with Pirelli Angel GT. Maybe I'm gonna give a call to my friend at Autex and get one of their tubeless kits and put it on so that next time I can plug it. As I said multiple times since I did the mods to the bars, I'm not gonna take the Scrambler off-road other than a gravel road, and the Pirelli Angel GT will do just fine on a gravel road, so that is not a concern. But as always, for anything I used in this video, check the description down below for links. If you like the video, like. If you love the video, subscribe. Right on. I'll see you next time.